Alright, shout out to all CFMoto lovers out there. Finally,
The time has come.
CFMoto is trying to compete with the big boys. The company right now is cooking a 1000cc V4 engine Superbike. Even though it is a Chinese company, it is partnered with very well-known brands, namely KTM for some of their engines, second is KYB for their suspension, and third, Brembo for their brakes, and many more. So any of you here hate China, well, throw everything in the garbage because most of the things that we have right now are basically from China. Even if we admit it or not, just look at your online shopping list and the materials around your place. So good day everyone, this is Frost and this is Frost Moto. First, thank you guys for allowing this to happen. So if you're on motorcycle, push the subscribe button. If you want updates, push the notification bell. A little background on the company, CFMoto has been in the motorsport game since 1989. Firstly, they make 125cc engine core components, filling the gap in the market. As they build their status, they eventually grown. And to make the story short, they made ATVs in the US market and European market and other country as well. Since then, they were highly recognized and applauded by many consumers for their affordable quality engines. By this, it helps by removing the stigma that Chinese companies are not good quality. Again, CFMoto is a premium brand in China and mostly some of the big companies right now are assembled in China for lower cost and so many valid reasons. In connect with that, Harley-Davidson made a deal with QJ Motors to build them a motorcycle in the name of Harley-Davidson, namely X350 and X500. It means that China is not the China that we know in the past. They are beginning to build their own names. And we all know, if you're gonna look at it as specifically, China is vastly growing and now they are one of the biggest country in the world based on the net income of the country, or what they do call that, GDP or whatsoever. So anyway, and one nice thing about everything is that it is beneficial for us simply because the more competition there is, the lower the price will become. Thus, in the day and age that we live right now, everything is permissible. What do I mean about that? As we can see, technology is vastly growing. You can actually buy a motorcycle, dismantle it, look at its inner components, and try to imitate. I know there are patents, so you can exactly copy it, but you can alter some things to ensure your company's growth. And a lot of company has been doing this for several years already. And even better, like we all know, you can borrow engine and use their technology, not limiting to the agreement that you have with the company. For example, like I said earlier, the Harley-Davidson. So now, the NK400 and NK650 of the CFMoto and their NK300 and SR300, their engines came from Kawasaki and Bajaj. So Bajaj and Kawasaki are two different companies. For the NK400 and NK650, it came from the ER4N and ER16 of the Kawasaki. And for the NK300 and SR300, it came from the Bajaj. So for that, it means that the engine-to-engine CFMoto is actually very nice for doing this. Adapt, improvise, overcome, or be left out. So CFMoto made its name, I guess, around 2006, more or less, for their street bikes and ATVs. There are a lot of varieties to choose from. Naked bikes, sport bike, and classic bikes, and scooters. I don't want to include this one, but just for the benefit of the doubt, CFMoto is partnered with a lot of brands, so these are the only things that I have listed. Number one is KTM, Bosch, Boss, Brembo, FCC, Delphi, Continental, CST, UAS, KYB, and last one is the J1 brakes. But as far as I know, J1 brakes are bought by Brembo already, so it is safe to assume that some of their technology will be coming from the Brembo itself, or we could at least consider this one as a single entity. One of the very famous engine sharing right now with the CFMoto and KTM came from the Duke 790. As we all know, the Duke 790 is a well-known bike called the Scalpel. The reason behind that is it is like a knife that cuts through tight corners with a very precise speed, torque, and agility in terms of riding in the corners. It has been used by the CFMoto MT800. It is a 799cc parallel twin engine that makes the MT800 lightweight with a very powerful engine torque and mid-range power. And again, with a very affordable price. Compared to its competition in the adventure bikes right now, the adventure bikes are becoming very popular that a lot of manufacturers fight in this area. One nice thing about the MT800, not just the price, but the money to technology that it offers. I mean, let's be honest guys, the technology that you have in the MT800, if you're going to put that in a well-known brand, the price will suddenly go up. So this is the best thing about new companies that are coming, because even though they are not tested by time, thoroughly, we see the technology, the things that they are trying to put in a single engine. So that's a very good thing for us. For the last few years, most of the company right now are investing in the smaller displacement, exactly 300 to 600cc category. It has become a bloodbath with the manufacturers because of the competition. In that category, it is like the gold mine right now. The economy is becoming worse and worse, and some people does not seem interested in buying very expensive bikes that can cost an arm or leg, can cause a lot of damage in your finances, and that makes this company so good is because they fill the gap with affordability. Still, yet it is different when you buy expensive bikes. But again, the real question is it worth it? What do you think about this one? Because honestly speaking, right now, if you have a choice to buy a motorcycle, there's no question as we will eventually go with a well-known, tested by time, so on and so forth. But if you're tight in budget and you want to experience a good quality motorcycle, like let's say if your budget is around, it's not that well and you can actually just afford the 300cc segment, but when you buy it in a CFMoto, that kind of budget will become a 600cc. By that, it means at least you will have an idea, an experience riding a 600cc motorcycle. And if you don't want it, you can actually sell it just to be, practical. And one nice thing that makes the CFMoto very famous and recognized around the world is when they released the 450SR, or in other countries, it is named 450SS. It is a 449cc, 270-degree crank firing, and believe me, if you ever heard the engine sound, it is so awesome to be. It resembles an MT-07 with a more sharp sound in a 400cc segment. And I want to take this opportunity as well. I had reviewed the 450SR or 450SS. It is by far the best 400cc category, affordable and good-looking bike that you can own right now. So if you're going to buy, if you're a new rider planning to get a 400cc, there's a lot of choices. You have Ninja 400, ZX4RR, but the ZX4R is so expensive, so I guess you can consider it a premium bike. An R3, MT-03, naked bike, Z4, so on and so forth. So one nice thing about the 450SR, even though it is affordable, you're already getting a lot of things in your money. So money for value, it is worth it. So I'm gonna put the link in the description for you to check it out. And just to add on, CFMoto does not want to stop dominating the 400cc category, and now they released a naked version of it with the same engine called the 450NK or NK450. It is a 449cc, the same with the SR, 273-degree crank firing steel that offers you with a max power of 36.9 kW at 9,500 RPM, with a max torque of 39 Nm at 6,500 RPM, and the weight is only 165 kg. Imagine, with a 450cc, that's the weight. So in terms of power to weight ratio, this one is a monster. And I am not done. It offers a good quality of safety features that you couldn't get in that category or in that segment with that kind of price point. So that makes the CFMoto very famous, because you're getting a lot of things in the money that you offer if you compare it with the competition. It has TFT display, EBS, Bluetooth connectivity, traction control, multimedia controls, and assist sleeper clutch. And the price of this newly released bike is around 262,800 peso. So imagine that compared with the competition like Z4 or MT-03. So in the future, the competition will get hard. This company has no choice but to provide to consumer a competitive price. And if not in price, it will be around features and technology. So they are going to change their approach to be able to cope up with the market, because it's not about brand wars. It's not about status. It's not about the stigma. Let's say that the NK450 is coming from Kawasaki or Yamaha. There's no question as this will become the top selling of the in the 400cc segment. So it is just about the status and pride. I know Japanese brands, European brands, Italian brands are the #1, but again, some of their units are expensive, and most of them that offers the features or technology like the CFMoto is offering is mostly on their higher CC, which is for an ordinary person can afford. I mean, we can't deny that you are paying for the brand, which is nice because they have been tested by time. But not to ruin your dream or expectation, especially for the new riders, some of the motorcycle of the Big Four or any brand that has been tested by time has problems. And this is an honesty. Maybe a lot of bloggers does not want to tell you this. They are not perfect. Believe me, I have friends who had issues with their bikes even though they were brand new. Anyway, despite the negative comments and stigma with the CFMoto, they don't actually care. They are still producing newly bikes, and one of that is the upcoming 1000cc V4 engine Superbike with a good quality engines and features with a very affordable price that can disrupt the norm. This one can capture a lot of people's attention, but just to give you a heads up, as far as I know, this 1000cc of the CFMoto that they are going to produce, they can never beat the 1000cc of other brands. Because number one is the price. To have an income or estimated value to the price that they are going to sell to the consumers. For example, now, few months back when they released the 450 SR, it was actually fully loaded, maximum in its engine power, quality Brembo brakes, so on and so forth. But they are not gonna release it in the market because it is gonna be expensive. So they need to cut down some other things to their bike affordable to the people, because they couldn't, let's say that CFMoto will have the same price of other brands like Yamaha, Kawasaki. So a lot of people will have a hard time deciding. So they will eventually, most probably, end up buying those brands that has been tested by time. So that's also a marketing display or marketing style of the CFMoto. They need to lower their price with a very appealing and reachable things that they can offer just to give the people an experience. After that, a few years will pass, and after testing a lot of the CFMoto bikes, then that's the time that CFMoto will finally increase price. But at least, there's a competition and a choice to choose from that makes the battlefield even, because most of us, I keep highlighting this, can afford those expensive bikes. Specifically, if you're living in a country or place that's not have enough leverage for a liter bike, you can even maximize the gear shifting. So if, let's say, you're living in a place, not a big country, like a small country like here in Cebu City, when you're gonna buy a liter bike, chances are you will never have a quality fun ride because you cannot maximize the engine. And to top it all up, there are rumors out there, and we know that it will become to reality soon, and they already filed a patent in 2022 that has a max power of 204 horsepower or 152 kW. So this is a super sports bike, 1000cc V4 engine derived from, if I'm not mistaken, from the KTM engine with a retune or retouched by the CFMoto. And come your tits bros, CFMoto is not done. They are planning to release a naked version. I don't know if they have the same engine for this one, but I guess we will soon find out. The CFMoto 1250NK or NK1250, the engine clearly for this one came from the KTM LC8 engine, or knowingly the Duke 1290R. We can't deny that the Duke 1290R is by far one of the best naked 1000cc in the market with a very good sound, powerful engine, and good torque that can give you the idea on how fast the bike can wheelie. So we all know in the kind of videos that we saw online, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, in terms of wheelie, the number one things that people always ask is the KTM Duke 1290R. And now CFMoto is going to use that engine. So this is gonna be the last lineup of their CFMoto naked bike. And we know that Duke 1290R is expensive. And now, at least CFMoto using the same engine, we have an affordable, more realistic version. If ever we have a choice, if you cannot afford the KTM 1290R, you can buy the CFMoto. At least they have the same engine. If ever I have a choice to choose one, if ever this thing will become to reality, the answer to that question is a big yes. I'm gonna choose the CFMoto 1250NK. As myself, I am a 400NK user. So I guess that's it. Yay! Finally, I am done. Good for us consumers. Make the competition more so we can have more choices and more affordable, realistic price point. Just check the link that I put in the description. So if you love this review, push the subscribe button, and if you want updates, push the notification bell. So God bless, ride safe, see you in my next vlog.